Hello everyone who's watching this video. I'm glad you're here. This video will show you a log cabin sauna that were renovated, which was built 10 years ago and located in Ireland. And why we renovated it completely? Because the roof got damaged by rain and trees. Old stove did rust a lot by that time and failed. All the work was done by myself or some family members. Friends help with some materials. Please like if you enjoyed it, comment what you think, and subscribe the video for future ones. That would be a big motivation for me to do them. So let's go to the video. From the sauna we removed everything, including floor, roof, ceiling, old benches and old stove. There was left only logs itself and they were retreated after. The size of the heat room is 8 by 8 foot or approximately 2.4 by 2.4 meters. Logs were carved by my uncle about 10 years ago plus. The floor was insulated this time. Ran a fall to the middle and to the sewage pipe outside in the corner. I can tell you that the insulation made a big difference. I tiled all the floor with these tiles. These tiles were pretty cheap that we got from one shop. And yes, they have to be non-slip, at least on any level. The platform for the stove to sit was made of 70mm raised concrete base, including rebar steel and mesh, as the stove can reach including stones up to half a ton. So let's start with bigger project, which is a stove for the sauna. That I welded every bit by myself. I didn't spend too much time in design of the stove. I did couple before, so I knew what I was doing, even I'm not a welder. The steel was supplied by my friend, and thanks to him it was 8mm steel plates that I was able to form a shape and cut what I needed to make a good solid stove. This stove had to be very effective and low timber usage to heat the place. For the legs, I welded 2 box irons that were around 2 by 2 inch. I drilled a hole for each nut and welded. Why did I drill holes in box iron? That's because when you will put a bolt in the nut, you will have plenty space at the back, and this is an adjustable leg. We have 4 of them. Making it cost effective and keeping it clean, I made a removable baffle out of H-iron and couple plates that I used out of the old stove. I welded it together to make smaller gap for the fumes, to stay and not to throw the heat straight out through the chimney. It can be removed from the burner place after you will open the door. I can be honest, some of the welds are not super nice, but they were welded 2 or 3 times to make sure it has a strong weld for the life. The grate was cut out of 28mm steel bar that should last forever, as well as the base for holding it. The grate can be removed, replaced or cleaned if needed. As you can see in the pictures, the bottom part of the stove was made to hold the cage that was made out of scrap 1 by 1 inch box iron. Also, it is only fit on, it means removable, if any time in the future needs replacement. Cage needed a lot of cleaning before painting, so I cleaned all the stove and painted with the stove paint. The door took me a while to think, how well can I make it? So as you can see, every bit was done by hand and tools that I had. I ordered glass online to cut by size. The door is removable with no tools required. Stove latch was the best part as I never made like this before. I wanted to have the look more like professional than average, so I cut a lot as it wasn't easy to make perfect fit. I carved the steel and the timber handle that was made out of alder plank, and it worked amazing, so I was very pleased with the result. The ashtray wasn't hard to make. It was made out of 3mm steel, and I bent the corners and welded a face of a 6mm steel at the front. So as you open more ashtray, you'll get more airflow into the stove and you'll get amazing draft. Listen to this, the stove was just lit. This is the removable baffle that I was talking about before. For the water heater, I used an old copper cylinder. I cut the top off to took the coil out as it was broken, resealed and resoldered some connections because there were a couple small little holes. Rolled the copper pipe around the flue, welded a frame for cylinder to stay and connected all the pipes. The top was concaved after cut. Tank was washed with citric acid and connected to the main so you can open tap and it would fill with the water. Also I made a lid for the tank. Around the copper pipe on the chimney I put fire cement. That because it will keep the heat and it will maintain the pipe so it will heat the water and circulate pretty fast. The chimney is a twin wall flue that I bought online. It was cheaper than building another chimney and it will take less space. Everything had to be saved, so everything used as it should be. After all that work, the rest was a pleasure to do as I needed to make the seats and the ceiling. I even made a stool and a headrest. LED 12-volt lights everywhere for safety. Ventilation in behind the seats. Enjoy the rest of the video.